Andy Lou, we're live.
We're back.
We back? All right. I'm going to do it right now. And welcome to Light Years. You know what, Andy? I thought we were going to talk about a few other items, maybe how the Warriors matched up with the Suns, how Wiseman looked against Ayton, um, just the general stuff. But this game took a different direction. And shout out to the legend Klay Thompson for spicing it up.
I think this is what we expected tonight if tonight was a Western Conference Finals playoff game. This is what I was expecting last season. Not expecting the Suns to win by 30, of course, but that the amount of chippiness and intensity and all of that, it felt like the Suns were giving their best effort. I think the Warriors were too. I think the Warriors were just bad. I think the Suns were giving their best effort, and you can tell, right, in a game like tonight, that the Suns are built for the regular season. They're like a machine. And but back to Klay. I think just kind of a perfect encapsulation of the Warriors through 4 games, where it's kind of up and down and up and down. And I thought the Warriors and Klay melted down tonight.
Yeah. I actually want to take it back to pregame. Let's start there.
Yep.
Let's get the screen share up here. Clay's frustrated over what was going on the last couple games. He's still on a minutes restriction. I'm sure he's clearly frustrated about it. Tim, hit play.
Thought I had a really good game opening night, a decent game. Game 2 and game 3, I was not good. So hopefully tonight will be even better. But, I mean, I'm still playing 25 minutes, 26 minutes tonight. And although it's not my usual 30, 35, it's still something to work with. And I'm not going to worry about made shots or statistics. I'm going to just go out there and play hard and be a two-way impactful player. And I know the big shooting nights will come as long as I just stay the course and stay patient and trust our training staff to let me go when I need to. Because I was in the same formula last year and it led to a championship. So I can get frustrated all I want, but I trust our staff. They know what they're doing.
Andy Lou, my first take on this is Klay is the worst poker player I've probably on the team. And I mean that in the most endearing way possible, because anytime someone goes, I'm not frustrated because it's part of the process, you're frustrated a little bit. It's like, and I don't even mean it in a bad way. It's just like, that's Klay. He doesn't, he's 48 minutes a game type of guy, right?
He looks like he's trying to convince himself what he's saying is actually true. Is what that looked like. Just the smile, like the faking smile there, just all of it. I think Klay, he's frustrated. He looks like he's not ready to play basketball. I think we were all concerned with him coming into the season. Now it makes sense, right? That he probably shouldn't have started the season playing. We know why with the ring night and everything, but he wasn't ready. He's still not ready. To me, I'm not worried. But I can see why Klay Thompson would be. And then tonight he goes 1 for 8 before getting into a shouting match with Devin Booker. And we've never, ever seen him that angry. We've never seen him ejected. He's never been ejected before in his career. And I think it's interesting to see him that angry. And then the Warriors just kind of gave up after that. They didn't stand a chance. The Suns pretty much ran him over. So an interesting start to the season, Sam, that I didn't see coming, especially with Klay Thompson.
In some ways, I'm kind of grateful it went down that way, because it just shows a little fight. And the core players, I truly believe that they land on the Phoenix talks way too much for a team who hasn't accomplished anything. So they're just like, screw this type of thing. Like, do you think any of this matters to Klay Thompson? Do you think any of this matters to Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Kayvon Looney, even Andrew Wiggins? Throw them in there, like guys who've accomplished things for this team. Do you think any of this matters to them?
No, and I also know for a fact, like you just said, that the Warriors don't respect the Suns. I think individually, right? I see a link here. I see a quote here from Devin Booker after the game saying he loves Klay, wanted to be Klay when he entered the league. I'm sure they like each other, but when you're talking about the Warriors saying, hey, are the Suns a championship contending team? Because it feels like that's how the Suns play tonight. I bet you the Warriors don't feel that way. So that's part of, I guess, the frustration. That I mean, even before Klay got tossed, the Warriors were getting outplayed. They were losing this game, and I think all of that kind of came together with Klay. He just these last couple games, he's forcing it, right? He's shooting shots that just generally even worse than he normally does. He isn't making them. I actually thought his defense was okay tonight, but he's not getting many chances to just play basketball. That's the other thing too. He's playing 15, 20 minutes a game. It's just not enough. So just I think generally tough for him.
Yeah, frustrating all around game. In general, looked like a player who was just trying to get himself going. That's the big thing for me. I think it's probably positive for the Warriors team that sort of thing happens. Particularly since it's Klay who's gotten a little more fiery as the years have gone on. And can we just talk about the Phoenix Suns just a little bit here? Let's see if I can pull up actually the box score on this game. I think at least part of the frustration was the free throw disparity. I'm not going to say that has everything to do with the game, but at one point the Warriors had only taken 9 free throws to the Suns 27. Sort of thing that's going to get on a player, kind of frustrate them a little bit.
Yep.
In general. And then, 7 techs at the start of the third quarter. Kind of wild, just a quintessential early season NBA game. I thought there was good competitive energy on both sides, but kind of wasted with the over officiating and the chirping. And it is what it is at this point, right?
It is. I thought it was the best atmosphere of a basketball game so far. Here's also another thing. I don't mean to get on a tangent, but the Warriors are the most exciting thing that has happened in basketball the last 10 seasons plus. Every single season, every single national TV game, they are must-see TV. And tonight, same thing. Think anybody gives a shit if it's the Suns versus the Pelicans tonight? And by the way, the Pelicans look amazing, but nobody gives a shit. But you go and you throw the Warriors on, defending champions. You got Steph, Klay, Draymond, Poole, Wiggins, and you got the Suns who choked last time we saw them at home. And you put that together, it's perfect. This is game 4 of the regular season of the NBA, and we've got playoff atmosphere. Dude, only the Warriors can do that. Only the Warriors can provide that type of value. Now I forgot what the tangent, what the main theme you were getting to, Sam. But it just popped in my head just talking about this game is the NBA. Adam Silver, they owe the Warriors. You know what I mean? They owe the Warriors.
Nice.
What do we got coming up here?
So first off, if you want to call into the show, I dropped the link in the Discord. Anyone can come through. We're going to bring you up when we get to the section, the Goon section. But I decided to bring up the box score here. So let's talk a little. Let's talk a little bit about this game beyond the Klay ejection. I think the first thing that stands out to you, 134 points. You could say post Klay ejection, the game was worthless. They still allowed 71 points in the first half, well within the range of competitiveness. That's a third straight game in a row. They've allowed 70 plus in the first half. Not something you're used to with the Warriors, not something you're used to with a contending team. I don't want to say where's your concern level because that just feels like a troll comment to make in October. Like, Andy, are you concerned that they allowed 70 in 3 straight first halves in October 20? You know what I mean? But like,
kind of a fair question though.
I mean, it's not the way they opened last year, and it's not the way they opened any of their title years where they came out locked in on defense. So I do think it's at least minimum worth calling out.
I am concerned. I am concerned. I know you are trying to make, I know what you're going to say. I know it's October. I know it's all this stuff. I'm concerned. I'm concerned because I don't really see a way that they get better outside. Okay, they are going to get better. They're not going to allow 70 points a half in every single basketball game that they play, especially when they play Memphis and Charlotte coming up, who are bad offenses. They'll be fine. But I don't see them becoming a top 5 defensive team, which they were last season, consistently. Are they going to be top 5 when they have Draymond and Looney on the floor and Wiggins on the floor? Yes. But the problem right now to me, Sam, is we have to see Wiseman get better on defense. We have to see Kuminga get better. We have to see Jordan Poole get better on defense. Moses Moody. All those guys get better, and there is no solution. There is no lineup rotation that's going to solve this, right? Outside of playing Draymond 45 minutes, which is not going to happen. So to me, it's you've got to see Wiseman get better and get better fast, because that is the one guy to me that is he's bad on defense. On defense. He is terrible. And again, I say this understanding that he hasn't played many basketball games and he's very young and he has to learn. If you're not going to learn in October, you're never going to get better. But he is terrible on defense. and that is what it looks like. So, and he's going to get better. So we'll see what happens come December, Sam. But I don't think there's Kerr just can't say, well, today I'm going to play JaMychal Green and Dante and next to Wiseman. We'll solve it. It's not happening. That's not how it's going to get solved.
It's two separate questions. Will he get better? Yes. Will he get to the level you need to compete in the Western Conference Finals, the finals, in 6 to 9 months? It's a different question, because development's not linear, and he's not that far along. And the idea that he can get where the Warriors need him to get to replace a GP2 or an Otto Porter in the playoffs, it's not a given. It's interesting to watch. To me, when I look at the Warriors, their starting lineup's fine. Those guys know how to compete against anyone.
Sure.
And Jordan Poole at this stage can play the 6-man role in any level. The real question is after that. They let 2 to 3 vets who could compete at that level walk. They let GP2 go. They let Otto Porter go. They let Bielitsa go, although Bielitsa might be is kind of retired. So they may not have a say in that one.
Mm-hmm.
The real question is who on their bench ends up replacing those guys come playoffs. And it can go any different way. You know what I'm saying? You're mentioning Wiseman because he's getting the biggest shot at kind of proving himself right now. Sure. Anyway you slice it, he's getting more run than Kuminga and Moody. And there's reasons for that. Part of it is he was the number 2 pick and they're up against his contract option year. So they better figure out if he's part of the future or not sooner than later. Right. That's part of it. The other part of it is just, they haven't had a big and they want to see what it looks like with one. So there's all these things. They don't need everyone. They don't need JaMychal Green and Dante DiVincenzo and all of them to be players, but at least a few of them need to be. You need a competent 8-man to get there. And it's going to be fun to see which ones get there.
Which is why I'm not concerned long term. Because I know, Sam, dude, I know long term, everybody healthy come May, and they have to win tonight's game. You really think Wiseman's playing? Come on. Kuminga, you really think he's playing? Come on. He's not sniffing the floor. Those guys aren't sniffing. Moody, actually, he might be out there. But just in an actual series, Ty Jerome, is he playing? Absolutely freaking not, right? So you talk about, but the point of the 82 game regular season is to find out maybe Wiseman does play 10 minutes in the postseason, right? Maybe he does play 15 minutes. Maybe Kuminga, who I thought, man, can I talk about Kuminga for a second? I feel bad for Jonathan Kuminga. I think he's tonight, and I understand rotations. It's sometimes the lineup construction. You can't play Kuminga next to Wiseman, but Ty Jerome is awful, and he's getting minutes over Kuminga. He got 4 minutes more than Kuminga in the first half, and I was furious. Not because I have anything against Ty Jerome, but because Jonathan Kuminga has so much talent, and I have no idea if he's good at basketball. No idea. And I think the Warriors do need to find out. And he's going to play a lot more here moving forward. But dude, he has to play. He has to play. And not at the 3. Right? If it means maybe not playing JaMychal Green, who frankly has not been that impressive this season, then so be it. But he has to play. That's my Kuminga tangent that I'm annoyed about.
Yeah, I mean that's part of what they're trying to figure out right now is how they play these guys. They have all these young players, the 2 timeline thing. And it's, your 2 highest picks you can't play them together and win games at the same time right now. It's okay because they have so much talent on the roster. They might be able to mix and match it. You might be able to get away with it in the short term. But it does kind of speak to the challenges of what they're trying to do. And, it's game 4. They're 2-2. If they brought back GV2 and Otto Porter, they're 4-0. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know
well,
how much
GP2's
I need
hurt,
to say.
so probably not.
Oh, that's true too. So maybe they're not. Maybe they're 2-2. But my point is, I didn't think Denver was better than them, and I don't think Phoenix is better than them.
Sure.
I just think both those teams took advantage of the fact that when the Warriors' main lineup goes off the floor, they don't really know who they are right now. Tonight was Jordan Poole's best game, and it's not a coincidence he went off because Wiseman was not in the same rotation as him. He had space. He could cook. He could do the whole Jordan Poole shimmy dance thing, and it worked. And that's something he wasn't allowed to do the first 3 games when he was playing with James Wiseman. Same time, Wiseman gets thrown in with the starters, and it gets a little rougher and a little more confusing for them. And that's just the reality of it. He's played 1,000 minutes in 4 years. It's going to be a long growth curve before you get to this level of basketball. And that's kind of the thing we're dealing with right now.
The Warriors, by the way, have the Miami Heat, who are 1-3. Interestingly enough, the Hornets. I always say Bobcats, and the Pistons coming up next 3 games. So I think if you're the Warriors, that you start to pile up some wins, because I do think part of what happened tonight is I think things get a little frustrating. It's not like you're 20 games over 500, right? So I think things start to get a little frustrating. I think you still have to look at this team in terms of finding a way to win games, but the Warriors can pile on some here during the road trip. Maybe less stress. But I'm with you on the Jordan Poole stuff. He looked great tonight. The Wiseman stuff, all that stuff gets just. I think Steve Kerr quickly found out you can't play 11 guys. He very, very quickly found that out. And so now the Warriors are 10. And so we'll see. And Dante DiVincenzo's street closed tonight. Looks like he won't be playing for a couple of weeks. So
yeah, Dante's on reevaluate in a week. Given that it's a hammy, I'm going to assume it's more than a week. Hammies aren't a 6-day deal. They're not a 7-day deal. Trying to bring up a quote here because we have our first post-game quote. There we go.
Nice.
From Kendra Andrews over at ESPN, Steve Kerr goes, "We're nowhere close to where we need to be right now. We're a very poor defensive team." He says their defensive issues start with transition D and then later when they were late on rotations. So basically, they can't guard in transition, they don't guard at point of attack, and they don't rotate well.
Sick.
You just summed up every aspect of defense possible, Steve. Appreciate you.
And by the way, he's right. He's right.
I think it's hilarious because I read that quote and I see Steve Kerr trying to, quell finger pointing and be like, we have a lot of work to do across the board and everyone has to come together. And he's probably right on some level, right? But it's just like, it's early season stuff because like that was such a nothing burger of a quote. It's like, yeah, we got to get better on transition. We got to get better at point of attack. We got to rotate better. We got to guard the post better. We got to rebound better. Like okay. so everything.
Pretty much every single thing you have to do better. As a defensive coach that Steve we know is, I think, I think this is going to start wearing on him. I'm very interested to see how much patience he has this season. Kuminga got taken out of the rotation quick. Again, unfairly, I keep saying. Unfairly, but he'll be back.
The fall guy. It's like the it's like when Paul gets taken into the room and it's anyway, whatever.
So someone very close texted me to the Warriors texted me that, hey, Kuminga's being treated exactly like Jordan Poole is. His second season in the NBA, start laughing. I was like, yeah, well, you remember when Nico Mannion was playing minutes over Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole gets sent back to the G League, right? So we don't think Kuminga's going to get sent back to the G, or maybe he will. But It's very. I think it sucks. I think he needs to play, and I think he needs to play the 5. See what he can do out there at the 5. Anyway.
Or next to Draymond, or Draymond at the 5.
Sure.
Same thing.
They tried that tonight. He does a lot of dumb shit, right? Like he just dribbles to the basket for no reason and then throws some up. But it's like, dude, well, that's half the team right now, right? You gotta let these guys play, and have them figure it out. Well, it's really only 2 guys that just does weird, dumb crap all the time. But those guys need to figure it out. And get back on transition, like Steve was saying, and figure out how to play point attack defense, like Steve was saying, and figure out how to rotate. If they can do all 3 things, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah. Should we get to the goons?
Let's get to the goons.
All right, Tim.
Who's first up today?
I'm gonna let Tim decide this one. We got a decent queue.
Like
I'm gonna throw the link out there one more time if you want to join us.
Ooh. The channel is just oh, look at that. Oh, I look way better now. I'm zoomed in. What's up, brother?
What up, Ty?
How y'all doing?
You got this out of Dodgers hat? That's unfortunate.
Nah, this is a regular fucking LA hat. It's
not even blue, it's black. Oh shit.
Yeah, it's not a Dodgers hat. Interesting game, fun in the first half. I mean, big Dem's a bozo, whatever, kind of thing. Some shit I noticed. Transition's tough. I don't know whether that's a combo of old legs, young brains, et cetera. That weirdly, Moody kept getting switched, whether it was Moody or Jerome or the fucking guards kept getting switched on the bigs. I don't know. We were really, really good last year at doing that matrix shit where like they would mind meld and communicate. And you would think, that shit would happen, more with the starters, even though if you look at like the advanced numbers, the starters like defense is solid and the offense is incredible.
Right.
It's an interesting thing. I don't know. I'm not really that worried about it. Not really that stressed about it right now. Like Wise couldn't guard a Spain PNR, of me, you, and Sam, right? So like it is what it is.
I don't know, dude. I just fucking hurt something again, so maybe he could.
I'm telling you, all somebody would have to do is like pump fake, and he's gonna jump, and then we're good. But all I'm saying is it'll get better, I think, right?
Yeah.
Should, right? So I mean, if that's the case, we should be fine.
Forgot Andre Iguodala was on the team. He might help. Midway through the game today, I was like, damn, no, I know Andre doesn't really have many ligaments left, but it'd be nice to just have him out there and just point and direct. That's one guy. The other thing I noticed too is Otto Porter is actually a really smart defender. JaMychal Green he's fine, but Otto Porter was a lot smarter and better than I could take credit for.
I'm an Otto guy. I was all last year, even when he was like limping with a hurt foot half the games and not making shots. I need to see JaMychal play with more vet heavy lineups before I determine they not that guy.
Defense,
It's Otto was playing out there with Steph, Wiggins, Draymond, and like I don't know,
GP2,
one of those guys. So it's like
one, yeah.
it's a little, it's just about him playing his role. JaMychal is being asked to be the man with a bunch of kids. Let's see how JaMychal looks if he plays with like, I don't know, let's just say Steph, Poole, Wiggins, and Draymond. I kind of think he'll look good, but then again, everyone looks good with that lineup combo, right?
Well.
not one big guy. But I ask you this question. So there's obviously the push and pull between trying to get the kids up to speed and trying to win enough games and keep your starter fresh. Where do you think that line starts to get tough to toe? Like I would say, if at the top of the new year you're still hemorrhaging leads, then you kind of run into some issues because you're also going to run out of time. Obviously, Bob doesn't like to do midseason deals, but you run out of time kind of at that point. What do y'all think?
I think before then, honestly. Top of the new year, don't quote me on the exact game number, but we're talking that would be close to game 40.
What were we when we beat the Suns last year? because that was Christmas, and then there's no games until New Year's.
Yeah, 30. Okay, so kind of the same range. I
Yeah.
guess let me take a step back. You're probably not wrong. If we're somewhere between game 25 and 40 and it's looking like this and the attitude's kind of that would be the point where it's like, all right, I'm running out of patience on this whole double experiment thing.
It wouldn't be a trade in my view. It would just be guys getting benched. There's no trade that can be like.
Well, I mean, I think that's gonna happen regardless, though, right? Like Steve showed us last year. You know, he's gonna yank the kids. You know, and Wise didn't play in the second half of this. I don't know why Kuminga's not playing, but Wiseman didn't play in the second half. Like he's trying to tinker. He's trying to get stuff right. I think you're right with the we don't usually have, like, JaVale's the only guy we had, and he had asthma, so he couldn't run up and down the court. Like the one thing that Wiseman does well is he consistently runs up and down the court. You know, because it's a easy thing. Now, if he had to chew gum and do it, I don't know. I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I think that, like, the benching will happen. The question is, because my hot take, which is looking tough right now, was the combo of J. Michael Green and Dante DiVincenzo would be better for us than Otto and GP2. Super hot take, but it's looking sketchy. But if push comes to shove, if they're at least solid, we'll have an 8-man for the playoffs. And we got the best top 6 in the league. So,
I agree with that. Oh, did we lose him?
No, we got Ty here. We're going through our growing pains of our own with learning how to screen share and use YouTube. Appreciate everyone here, you know. You can't just assume Tim's going to be prime Tim Duncan. He's got to go through his big gym phase.
Can't be prime.
3 words, give him time, right?
I'm trying to screen share a tweet here, and there we go. All right, Ty, I need your thought on this, and then we're getting you out of here. Booker says Klay kept telling him that the Warriors have 4 rings. He repeated it over and over again. Where's our love level for Klay being 1 for 8 after not making shots for 2 to 3 games in a row and just still talking like a maniac?
I mean, so look, I love Klay. My thing has always been he has superstar love, role player expectations, but I'm cool with it because he does have 4 rings. Like, fuck you, I got 4 rings. Like, what the fuck? Like, but I do wonder. We saw Klay struggle, and the kind of assumption is we're going to get a second bump, right? And obviously some of this is frustration. My only worry is if we're not going to get a higher level of consistency from Klay than last year, then maybe some of that stuff, like, you're just kind of piling on things of, oh man, all right, this kind of should have gone right, but didn't. Oh man, this kind of didn't. So that would be my only thing. But I mean, fuck Devin Booker. Like, good shit. Win a ring. Shit. What?
There you go.
We saw game 7. Fuck out of here.
Appreciate you, Ty. All right, let's get to Archie. Sorry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, Ty spoke well, so I do agree with a lot. What's going on, Andy? I agree with what Ty was saying. I wasn't as worried today with the game, only because I was a victim last year of how high variance we kind of were throughout the season. I remember when we lost to Denver, when we were wearing like the Scarlet jerseys, I had put a tweet out where I said that I've never seen a team that looks like they can win a championship, but they can also just get bounced out of the first round.
Right.
So looking at us now, I know that, Kerr, for the most part, he's tinkering with lineups. I think, let's say after 10 to 15 games, it'll be interesting to see like a stat to see how many different lineup variations he's actually kind of done. I think most of that is really to try to develop some of the kids or whatever. With Poole and Wiseman, I think it's comedy seeing them on defense. I think the thing with Wiseman, I used to tell one of my friends about Brandon Ingram when he was a younger player. You know, he's really going to take off when he realizes he's as tall as KD. And for Wiseman, I bring that comparison as once he realizes his height affects so many different shots and he actually starts committing, especially like when he's playing the drop and things, he'll start to realize like, you know what, my base doesn't need to be, let me model my game after, let's say a KG or a Giannis.
Right.
I have Looney on my team. If I can just get like the very simple, disciplined things to do with his skill set and with his athleticism, which is, highly underrated, I think he'll be spectacular on defense and it'll open so much things for him offensively, especially with his confidence. But I do love that Poole is making like his best effort to really kind of get him engaged in those units. It's just, for me, it's the defense. Hopefully that's something I think that will get better towards the end of the season. I think I had a more hot take that maybe he would start showing certain things by December, but I'm more inclined to say let's see where he's at the end of the season, because I'm really treating this like this is really his rookie season. 1.5 or whatever, but I don't put too much stock into the game. I'm not worried about the Suns at all.
that was literally going to be my question for you.
No.
Where is your I think it annoys Sun fans that like the concern level about them with the Warrior fans, like it's below 0. It's just like we're more concerned with ourselves than anything at this point.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Memphis, but them in Memphis, they want to be our rivals so bad. So it's kind of like, I get it, but I'm just not worried about them, especially not now. I think we're very battle tested. And the thing with Poole and Wiggins in particular, they won rings, they both got paid, and they're really playing free basketball for the most part outside the second half of this game. Wiggins has looked phenomenal. He's our second best player on the court to me. So I'm pretty confident that we'll get things, going as the season kind of goes along. But I really, really hope that, like if they're really going to go all in with, the Wiseman situation, that we do get like some positive things going, post-March.
Archie, appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
I appreciate the level-headedness of that because it's,
I like crazy calls. I like crazy calls. I also like those calls, and I think
I need a balance. I need I need someone to get my heart rate going, but also someone to make me remember, game 4. There's 78 more of these suckers, and maybe the playoffs, maybe the play-in right now.
By the way, to before we get to Ryan, who, what the hell, dude, haven't seen you in freaking years. James Wiseman in his prime is going to average 20 points a game. It's ridiculous how easy he does it. It's ridiculous how much touch he has around the rim. He's just going to do it effortlessly. So I know I sound angry about the defense, but holy shit, the dude's going to average 20 plus. I don't know if it's going to impact winning. I don't know, but let's find out. Anyway, Ryan, sir, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? First off, I have to start by saying I was thinking this during the game. There's no team with more punchable faces on it than the Phoenix Suns. I was going through it. Mikal Bridges, Jock Landale, Chris Paul, Devin Booker.
They are like the all incredulous face team where it's like, what'd I do? Yeah. Like they all give you that face.
Yeah, it's insufferable. Thank God they have Damian Lee to balance them out.
World champion,
friend of the show,
Damian Lee.
One ring, Damian Lee.
By the way, do you think Damian Lee entered the locker room and said, "Let me teach you guys how to win"?
Did you see the quote about the plus minus thing?
What?
No.
So Devin Booker they just won the Mavericks game, and he's like telling a story about Damian Lee was like at halftime, damn, I'm a minus. And he's like, what? We don't look at plus minus here.
It's got to be a Steve Kerr thing, right? I mean, like that's just, it has to be.
Which does not bode well for our favorite center.
What else you got?
Well, my thing is, Kuminga came in and showed some of the athleticism stuff. I thought he responded largely well. He did have that one layup he biffed, but he got into the position, and I think I just love to see him play through mistakes because he's the one come playoff time where I think he adds to our ceiling more than any other one of these other two kids because he could do a lot of that GP2 stuff on offense if he's given a consistent role. The issue is right now he's getting 6 minutes here, 6 minutes there. So, of course, he's going to be pressing to find his shot because there's nothing consistent there. And he has to be like, I'm always going to have to continue to prove it. And that's just an issue with a young player. And he's going to fight through it. He always responds well, but I just like to see him a little bit more given this team's clear limitations on the perimeter defensively. And it also lets Wiggins go down to the block in certain lineups and rebound. So that's my take.
No, I mean, in a perfect world, if Kuminga is kind of like the perfect version of Kuminga, adding another 6'7", 6'8" wing who can slash to a lineup with Wiggins and Draymond, like that's a Warriors like idealized right there, where everyone is both a 3 and a 5 at the same time, and you don't know where it's coming from, and then you got to deal with Steph, and next thing you know, someone's back cutting for a dunk.
Yeah.
And because they're 6'7" and they can get their head above the rim, it is a dunk every time. And so I agree with you because those type of players play in the playoffs. Those type of players matter in the playoffs because they have no weaknesses. Like the thing that stands out to you, the longer every playoff series goes, you're like, well, is Jordan Poole going to be playable by game 5, or will they pick on him, right? Is that center going to be playable by game 5, or is he going to play it off the floor? Somehow Looney's never got played off the floor because he's
and never will.
Quick feet. He's got.
No, I mean, but that speaks to the point. Like, how many series have you seen where like a guy like Jonas Valanciunas gets like 20 in game 1 and then is playing 5 minutes per game and by game 5? Like, that's just kind of how it goes, right?
That's every Warriors series ever. They just play the drop covered center off the court, and then they're like, wait, this is the whole thing I don't get about the Wiseman thing is they always play the center off the court. Why go take a big at 2 when you know that you're playing the other team's big off
the other team doesn't have Steph. I
know that's the general.
It's always a fair point. The point. He's an alien, and you don't have an alien.
One thing about DeAndre Ayton, by the way, I just thought of this while you were talking about, speaking of like soft centers getting played off the court. That guy is continually unimpressive.
Add him to the punchable face list.
He looks like he's 45.
Ryan, appreciate you.
DeAndre Ayton never impresses me, Sam. He just frustrating. A frustrating player to watch if I were a Suns fan. Thank goodness I'm not.
No, he's the epitome of good, but not good enough, but good enough that you don't want to give him up. And so you do this rodeo where he disappoints you for 4 years in a row. He's Brandon Belt, right?
Hey. That guy hit one of the biggest home runs in Giants history. GT Chong, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing?
Good, man.
Good. What's up, man?
You know what? I'm not really too worried. It's still really early in the season. I think, as soon as the chemistry starts building up with the DiVincenzo injury kind of dislodges it a little bit. But I would say as soon as they start getting some chemistry with each other, I think that's what Kerr is trying to do with these young guys, because you see a whole, night and day type of aspect that's going on with the starters. It's like, okay, this is an example of how you guys should be playing. And then when these guys hit the court, it's like right now they're struggling to, figure out how to play defense. Just going off of what I saw tonight, I saw Moody not really defending too terribly well. It looked like his feet were stuck in the mud, and Kuminga still has a lot of work to do, on the defensive end. But man, I still say it's really early in the season to start, start panicking, But It's a hell of a lot better than watching like the 2000 Warriors. I tell you that much.
That's true. That's always the go back to. It's like, oh, you're mad about this? Let me tell you about Vonteego Cummings.
Oh yeah. Chris Mills hitting the side of the backboard. Mookie Blaylock running up and down
talking
the
yourself into like Seekasvili and going through
that one. I know that one.
Going through it. That's I don't envy going back to those days.
Calbert Cheney guy, or is that a little bit?
Calbert Cheney, man.
That's like pretty much when I started watching. Like those years was when I first was like, oh, look at this.
Oh
guy.
Yeah, the Speedy Claxton years. You couldn't stay healthy. It's like, dang. But it's a heck of a lot better than watching that. But yeah, I really wouldn't be too worried, and I think possibly this might be crazy, but possibly starting Wiseman with these guys and letting him go through those defensive growing pains might be more beneficial, because at least you have kind of a person that in Looney on the second unit kind of holding the defensive side down a little bit. I don't know that Jordan Poole's defense he's still got a lot of work to do. So
yeah,
he indeed does.
Yeah.
Defense didn't get him that 100 and what 40, 123,
yeah, 40.
Some sort of number. Although, hey, that all defense team will get him a little more of those guarantees. So
I gotcha.
All right,
that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
All right.
So did you want to bring up Kawhi? I got another take. I feel like I'm a little bit annoyed tonight watching the game. I'm just firing off takes. We have another quote, Tim, you bring it up?
Yeah, but you can fire off a take while Tim does this.
Dude, actually I'm going to wait because this is a great quote. And my take is directly correlated to this.
From friend of the show, Draymond Green. The commitment to defense isn't there. It starts with me, and I'm going to make sure we get there. I actually didn't know which direction the quote was going from the first line, but I should have known. This is the most Draymond quote of all time from CJ Holmes to the SF Chronicle. Thanks for tweeting that out. But yeah,
Draymond Green looks freaking incredible to start the season. Offensively, and I can't believe I'm saying it, offensively he looks great. Couple and ones tonight. Got teed up because he didn't get one finishing over Ayton. Went to the hole, contested finish. Made a jumper to start the game. I'm not sure what's happening. I really don't know what's happening. Maybe he got the same HGH LeBron has. Don't know what's happening. Looks incredible. Defensively, he's doing everything he can. To that quote's point, I don't know how much Draymond can get into these guys' ass to get their defense up. But if there's someone that's going to be able to figure it out, it's Draymond. Because he's going to have to get Poole short up. He's going to have to get Wiseman. Moody's even struggling on defense. I just think Moody's too slow sometimes. And so he's just going to have to pick these guys up. Sam, I don't know how he's going to do it, but I'm not Draymond. So if there's one guy, right, that's the guy. That's
I really
do
think it's down to two guys. It's Poole and it's Wiseman at this point.
You think those are like the weakest links? Like
those are the only ones. Poole at point of attack just doesn't give a fuck half the possessions. Like it's very like I'm out here to cook, and so that's a problem. Yeah. But Wiseman's equally, if not a bigger problem. Like how many open threes come from him just being a traffic cone and a kick out? Most of them, right? So it's like it's one of those things where those two guys got to get on the correct page, and then we'll see where we're at. And then it comes down to Draymond kind of getting up guys to play a little better. Yeah. But if those two guys aren't going to do it, I mean, it's not going to get better from there.
They're playing a lot of minutes too, right? Like Wiseman's averaging 20 almost a game, and Poole's going to play 30-something a game. You can get away with Poole though. Like I think with Poole, it's he's going to give you 20. Right, so what he gives away, he gets back, and he's so
well.
Good
so I thought that was interesting tonight because they tried to separate him because I feel like Poole was fine last year, but he was fine last year because you had Draymond and Looney behind him, which like it's as good as it gets in the NBA defensively, right? So he didn't really even have to do much, right? Like he has Wiggins, Draymond, Looney, and Steph next to him when he was starting last year. they're going to be fine on defense as long as he's not like Trae Young levels, right?
Oh.
Now not so much the case. So they try to separate him and Wiseman a little bit, see if that helps. But through one game, not so much.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right, should we get out of here on that? I think that's sufficient for tonight. Appreciate everyone.
Good.
Pod will be up.